to me then, I bet they feel me now. Time don't let me lose it. The booth not about to prove it. I set goals and pursue it. You the best to never do it. Invest my money talking fluent, stupid, ducking the Judas. It broke my heart, but over my eyes, you have no honor, I have no choice. Chasing the commas till I'm gone. I've been left for a minute. On my way home, mama, I promise, got caught up in it. Damn. Everybody eats when I'm batting at the plate. First, second, third, home, $1 million babe. Didn't listen to me then, I bet they feel me now. Time don't let me lose it. The booth not about to.
Welcome everybody to the great AI debate. I guess I'm the white Mekhi Phifer in this, and it makes sense because I'm a little partial to B Rabbit over Papa Doc over here. So you know, we are ready to go. It's fitting that this is a debate about future. See what I did there? Yay! All right, that's I did all the 8 Mile break-ins that I could. Somebody said they wanted a rap battle, so I figured why not go there. What we're going to do tonight, we're gonna break this down. Two folks who I respect tremendously. I think these two men are two of the most thought-provoking in our generation, and I'm torn because I got to be honest. Like, I come into this, I'm going to admit my bias right out the gate. I'm not going to do like Gwen Ifill or what's his name, not Mike Wallace, but his kid or whatever, and try to pretend like I'm unbiased, like NPR or something, and I'm horribly biased. I think that AI is not good for humanity, and so I'm a little biased towards Cyprian. However, I have tried. There's going to be some moments where I'm going to try to keep this thing betwixt the ditches, so to speak, with some redirects and things like that to try to keep this conversation broad and covering all areas as much as we can. And I do have some things that'll be some pushback because I think there are some good arguments to be made in favor of AI, and I want to make sure that I'm not being super biased with that. But without further ado, we will get into it. We're going to start off with 5-minute opening arguments, and I flipped a coin. No, I didn't. But I'm just going to give B Rabbit the mic first.
I think I got a coin.
Oh, do you? Really?
Yeah, I think I got a coin. Hold on.
I was just gonna do it like 8 Mile and give him the mic
you
first,
want?
so he could just
I think
silence
the pro.
you real quick.
I think the pro should go first.
Yeah.
Right. That's typical.
The who?
I was
Pro
trying,
should.
I
Pro.
was just trying to be a hater.
Oh,
As
the
a-
pro goes
as-
first? Okay. Y'all want to
pro
cheat?
goes
No
first.
problem.
Let's say the four. Let's say the four, since you got two pros here already.
Well,
So let's.
I'll throw on my Hotep Nation hat so that it doesn't look that biased. Ignore the Matrix background behind me. And I have look, I'm ready. I even have my tinfoil Hotep Nation feet that I made myself. I don't know. I'm going to let you gentlemen take it away. We'll let the pro AI argument go first.
All right.
Opening arguments. Hotep Jesus, you have 5 minutes. Do you need a beat?
I feel kind of bad today because to me, Cyprian's an icon. And you know what they say? You never want to meet your icons. You never want to meet your idols. But one thing they never said is you never want to slaughter your idols and your icons. So I kind of feel bad that, I have to do this today, but this is what I have to do. But in some regards, he's right. But I want to be right and exact and specific. Is AI bad? It's bad for you. It ain't bad for me. This is a subjective thing. It's bad for most, is what I believe. You know who the real artificial intelligence is? People. The dumbasses. The layman. The everyday person. That's the real artificial intelligence. They actually don't possess any intelligence. And I have the proof of that. When they gave people ChatGPT, what did people do with ChatGPT? They asked it, how many genders are there? They asked it, who do you prefer, Trump or Biden? This is the buffoonery that was coming from the artificial intelligence of the human mind. Nobody thought to get their work done with this. They thought to use this for entertainment and grifting purposes. So who's the real danger here? Is it AI or is it the dumbasses using the AI? Now, when the people elected to ask AI for its opinions, what did they do? They submitted to the machine. They entered a state of submission. They said, computer, we are so lost that we now need Fido, Spot, the robot, to tell us what to do. Humanity is already lost when you have to go and ask the machine their opinions between human beings. So humans don't even know what to do with ChatGPT. That's first and foremost. Now, will AI destroy humanity? Technically, no. It's simply going to accelerate this destruction of humanity. Humanity is already on a crash course to hell. It's simply going to speed it up. That's what it's gonna do. Now, what sped up the destruction of humanity before AI? Steve Jobs' iPhone combined with social media. So first it was the computer. And things were okay. But people feared the computer today. They talked about the computer like they talked about AI. They talked about the car like they talk about AI. But it wasn't until social media came about that we really started to accelerate the pace of the destruction of this planet. Now, with that being said, I'd just like to say, I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one that can stop me. You think Cyprian is a conqueror? No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from their cloth. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want his heart. I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
Was that it? Did you go short on time?
That's all I need right there. That's it.
Okay, you only needed 3 minutes. All right.
That's it.
Cyprian, it's on you, man.
So if the question is, will AI, I think that's a good question. Will AI destroy humanity? And in that way, is it bad? And I think it's a very good question because it's fundamentally a spiritual question. And I think as Hotep pointed out correctly, that there's many ways that humanity can be destroyed. And what I would like to focus on today, because otherwise we'll get into weird debates that I think can be had and are being had, thankfully, on the kind of materialist side, where people are taught. Lex Friedman has had two very good podcasts recently. Eliezer Yudkowsky was one, and then Max Tegmark he just had. I would suggest for people to check those out. Liv Boree has had a discussion with Daniel, what's his last name? Some crazy Schmachtenberger, I think is his name. And they were talking about the Moloch concept, which Max Tegmark also spoke about with Lex Friedman. I think those are good for people who are not of a spiritual bent. They want to discuss, what does this technology look like and how could this technology possibly destroy humanity from a material standpoint. But what I think is important, and what I want to talk about today, and that's, I think, particularly important for both of us, and the respect that I have for Hotep, and I think his comment about, it's particularly bad for X set of people, but that there's a 1% that this could be positive for. There is a 1% that's been different when it comes to technology, there's no doubt. But I think that it's really the 1% that I want to talk to, because it's actually that 1% that this is the most damaging for. And that 1% being damaged is actually what ends up destroying humanity. Because the 1% that is damaged are actually the people that can move humanity forward. That 1%, folks like Hotep, are the ones who, when there are problems that come up in the world, the solutions come from that 1%. And we have as a society that is strong takes that 1% and trains them to be even stronger. It promotes them, moves them forward, because solutions aren't going to come from everybody. We just have to be honest, right? And really, the big solutions are going to come from the 1% of the 1%, because those are the most disciplined people. Those are the ones who will sit and work at a problem 24 hours a day for 20 years until they get it. Not everybody's down to do that, right? So fundamentally, the way that AI, and I want to be very specific about this, the way that AI is going to destroy humanity is it's going to destroy humanity through that 1%. And it's specifically going to destroy humanity through the ego and the pride of that 1% in believing that they can deal with what it is that AI is going to present. And so what I want to talk about today is a red line of where are we going to draw the line in terms of this technology, because it is not like the computer. It is not like the car. It is not like splitting the atom. It's different. Now, different cultures have decided that they were going to draw the line because they saw everything pointing at this, which is a mind that is beyond ours, a mind that has agency, that can move forward and do things that otherwise would be in the realm of humanity. What happens when that 1%, that strong 1%, picks up and begins to use AI, and we'll talk about this as we move forward, is that 1% atrophies. They lose their strength because their strength came from their work. If I'm in the gym, my goal in the gym is not to be productive. It's not to do the maximum number of reps that I could possibly do. It's not to lift the maximum amount of weight that I could possibly lift. It's to lift more weight today than I lifted yesterday off my own strength, and in that way tomorrow to be able to lift more. So if someone sees me in repping or with a max that's incredible, what you're actually looking at is you're looking at a history of work. For someone to say, I want to be able to bench 450 pounds, right? You don't really want to bench 450 pounds. You want to be the man that can bench 450 pounds. If I hire somebody to come in who can bench 450 pounds, and I hire him to come in and bench 450 pounds, every day that I hire him to do that, and I'm not the one going and working to become that, I get weaker. If I hire a machine, put on an exoskeleton that I have to do next to no work, but I could put up that 450 pounds, great, I put up the 450 pounds. Every day that I use that exoskeleton, I become weaker. If I hire a robot to go in and put up that 450 pounds, every day that I use it, I become weaker. Because it's not about lifting the 450 pounds. That's the myth of productivity. That's the myth that we who would call ourselves that 1% who are solving the problems of the world, that's what we are not addressing or taking for granted. The reason we're able to have these skills and do the things that we're able to do is because of the work that we've put in the past when we didn't have the skills. And for us to tell people that they need to go and to use something that is going to do these things for them so that they never acquire the skills. At scale, what that looks like is a whole bunch of people with no skills and no means of developing them because there's not even a mentor or a teacher or someone who knows how to do it. And over generations, we've handed over our agency to the machine. The 1% has done it.
Hmm. So,
in the short term, we're good. In the long term, that's how humanity is destroyed.
So, let's have Jesus. You wanna?
Yeah, let me hop in here. Let me
respond to that.
I'm gonna make your job real easy today, Chad.
Okay.
I want to clearly define this 1% with Cyprian here, because first of all, I gotta say I agree with everything he said. Let me just start right there, right? But I think we have a disparity in who the 1% is. I think with AI, there's going to be a new 1%. Okay? You're going to have some people who are going to fall into the trap like you stated, right? And I used this example earlier on menofwater.com in my article where I said most people don't memorize phone numbers like we used to. They save them to my phone, right? But I, being one of the 1%, keep the important numbers in my mind because I'm conscious enough to do this, right? So I think this is going to be the new 1%, the people who will continue to allow AI to do heavy lifting, but still hit the gym. For example, there's many people that rely on the computer for communication. However, I have a pack of 50 pencils and several notebooks, and I write and I practice writing because I'm part of that 1% that knows the dangers of relying on technology. And I think that's going to be the new 1% that emerges, is the people that are like Cyprian and myself that know the dangers of AI, will use AI when necessary, but will not become dependent on it. However, there is going to be a huge contingent of people that have become so dependent on AI, they will lose their humanity. They will lose their way. Now, let's talk about the unskilled people. It is the unskilled people who I believe will be saved by AI. Now, some of them going to lose their jobs. I ain't gonna hold you. Also, I think there's a lot of paper pushers out there. A lot of people in corporate America with meaningless jobs. They have these inflated egos as if they're doing something important at the corporation that AI is going to replace. One of these people, I believe, is going to be a project manager. I think AI is going to replace the project manager and some marketing manager duties. These positions are going to be eliminated. Low-skilled people, low creative people are going to be eliminated, and they'll have to move out of the way. But here's why I say that no skilled people will be saved by AI. Because they're too dumb to know what to do with AI. Like I illustrated earlier, they went to AI and they asked about Trump versus Biden. Is this how we're using technology? Like really, what are we doing here? I used AI to build me out the membership program for my YouTube channel. Now, if we look at that task I gave it, right? This task to build out the membership program for my for my YouTube channel. Now you have to keep this in mind, that building a membership program for YouTube has been done thousands of times, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? So I taught the AI my brand. It gave me some names of the tiers, and it showed me how I should structure this program. And I picked it apart, and I put the program together. Now, me being the CEO, I would have had to hire a team to do that. And the team, compared to the AI, would have been less efficient by 100x. I did in 20 minutes what would have took me a team. And not to mention, I would have annoyed him, because every time I went back to the AI and said, yo, I need you to do this. Can you put it in this order for me? Can you put it all on one page? Somebody would have been like, yo, I hate my boss. He keeps making me do these redundant tasks. So these redundant tasks that you would have had an assistant do, I'm now having the AI do. So I'm not losing here. I'm saving money. I'm saving time, because I don't have to hire somebody to do something like put together my YouTube membership program. Now, there are some idiots out there that are saying, AI, can you walk me through how to build my TikTok program, and it's telling them what to do day by day. Those type of people aren't going to make it. There's some people that are asking AI to write entire blog posts. Those people are not going to make it. When I go to menofwater.com, I take pride in the fact that every single word I typed on my blog came from a human. I'm going to finalize what I'm saying here and summarize. There's going to be a new 1%, and a new 1% is going to know the dangers of AI. They are going to use AI, and they're going to pivot accordingly. Then there's going to be a large contingent of people that are going to use AI, become dependent on AI, and they will atrophy, as Cyprian said.
So this is a well-stated argument for AI. There's some blind spots in this argument, some very important blind spots, and so I'm gonna use an analogy. As I said, AI is different. If people want to see, I did a video series called The Attention Economy that talks about sort of the evolution of where this all comes from. Of course, the way that AI is built now, like ChatGPT style AI. So for people who don't know, just a little bit, it uses what's called transformer networks. And basically what this is it's a means by which you feed a system a whole bunch of information. And then what it becomes good at after the training is predicting what word comes next. So it starts to write, and then it predicts what word would come next. Out of all of the humans that have written this similar string of text, it predicts what comes next. Same thing with pixels in a picture. And over time, it becomes better and better and better. And so then you can even get to photorealism or ideas like when somebody says, write in the style of Kanye West, write a rap in the style of Kanye West. Well, it goes and it finds all the lyrics of Kanye West, and then it starts to write, and it finds the meter and everything, and it says what would come next if Kanye had written this, right? And it becomes, over time, increasingly very, very good at doing this. And where this comes from is it comes from out of the suggestion algorithms, like, for instance, on YouTube. And you can see the evolution there. The idea is, what would this person want to watch next, right? What will keep them on the platform? What will keep their attention?
Gmail does this.
Gmail does this. It will finish your sentences. Exactly. That's rudimentary, right? That's like the bacteria to the human. And the human is what we're getting into, like with ChatGPT. Okay. So, but what does that do? Like, for its ability to grab your attention, its ability to make you keep saying what's up, thumbs up, to keep going back to it and asking it, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? What's happening is addiction. This is built to be a drug. It's built to addict you. That's what it is. The YouTube algorithm, we already know this is a drug. Everybody's gotten lost in a YouTube rabbit hole and been like, whoa, how long have I been watching? What happened? That's an addiction. It gives you a high. It gives you dopamine. It puts you into this state, right? A euphoric nirvana state where you lose track of time. ChatGPT, Midjourney, these AI, they are the distillation of that. So if the YouTube algorithm is opium, which some people might say, hey, look, there have been positive uses for opium. It's the most commonly used painkiller. A lot of people would be in pain without it, right? You use opium. And same thing goes for YouTube. Look, it's showing me, but I'm trying to do positive things. I'm getting Orthodox Christian content. I'm getting cooking content. I'm getting Hotep Nation. I'm getting these things that are educating me, right? And it's like, okay, but there's also the other side of YouTube that people have fallen into that's just like memes and dumbness and TikTok and whatever, right? So it goes either way. That's opium. When you distill it down to its most addictive level, that's heroin. And it's folly for someone to say, listen, I've done a lot of drugs, which I have, right? I've done a lot of drugs. I can handle it. I'm good. I'm in the 1% that I can start using heroin and I won't get addicted to it. It won't ruin my life. I won't become dependent on it. Right. And I love that you use the term dependent because it's exactly right. It's dependency. Now, people who have less experience with drugs or whatever, they use heroin for the first time, second time, boom, they're addicted and they don't have the skills to pull themselves out. They don't have the discipline. right? Very few people, though, can use it for any extended period of time and not develop a dependency that look, for some people, it's a straight crash down. For others, they hold on to it a lot longer because they have more discipline. Everybody's going down. And that's the key here, is that we have to have a level of humility about what it is that we're dealing with here. It's the humility that's lacking. It's the humility that's the blind spot. And the other thing, the other thing that's the issue here is this notion of, and again, like, I'm so glad that you brought these things up about these people are going to lose their job because what they're doing in their job, that they're doing something meaningless. And it really draws to us, like, what's the purpose of our economy? We've lost sight of this. And this is where the demonic comes in. This is where the powers and the principalities come in. Because what's the point of that company existing if it's not to employ people? What's the point of that company existing if it's not to have people, whether this job is meaningless or not, able to go and to do something with themselves that maybe it's meaningless to us, but it does provide enough meaning for them to get up every day, get dressed, hygiene, get in the car, go to work, do their thing, and with that, they can support their children, right? Not everybody's going to be a creative genius. Not everybody's going to do those things. And again, I mean, it even goes deeper. The fact that, you said, okay, you use the AI to create your membership program on YouTube. Okay, great. But then what you said was, what was the trade-off of you using the AI? And as Thomas Sowell says, there's no solutions, there's only trade-offs. My favorite quote from him. What's the trade-off? Well, you said what the trade-off is. The trade-off is you didn't hire anybody. The trade-off is you didn't have communion with other human beings to work on a project together, to build something together. And my own experience as an entrepreneur has been that the greatest part of starting businesses, the greatest part of building businesses has been working with others. And as a matter of fact, the people that I consider to be like my greatest friends that I've ever had have always been people that I have met because we were going to start a project together and they were able to do something, usually creatives on the visual end, graphic designers, filmmakers, photographers, exactly all of writers, all of the things that AI is seeking to displace and to make it easier for us. Had I used AI for those things, I would have missed out on these things. And as I look back at the businesses that we built, yeah, it was cool. Yeah, the projects that we made, and we made shows and these beautiful things and threw parties and did all of this. But at the end, what I really look back on that was valuable was the communion that I had and the friendships that I made. Like, it's the friends I made along the way, right? It's really true. Mm-hmm. And that, it's social distancing, right? Except it's the social distancing that we're asking for. So we're saying, isn't it great that I'm social distancing now? After we just spent 3 years fighting against it, now we're like, no, the greatest part about AI is I don't have to deal with people anymore. Let me pay to social distance. Look at how wonderful it is. So this is where the demons come in. They couldn't get us that way, but they sure as hell figured out how to get us in this new way.
I don't know. I think they might have gotten us with the social distancing thing, because there are a lot of people who didn't want to go back to work to see their coworkers and everything like that. And I have to say, Hotep Jesus, I almost shed a tear because you kind of, that one hit kind of close to home. I was like, damn, man, like, what if there would have been ChatGPT or Midjourney or whatever when I started doing clips and doing all this other stuff? He'd have been like, nah, bro, I don't need you to do this. I'm just going to type it into ChatGPT, tell him to do it for me. Where's Jason Rose? Where's Hotep Dutch? Where's Taylor? Where are all the people that we go and do a Hotep Nation weekend with over the stuff that we have done together?
Why your argument is flawed.
All right, okay. Go ahead, man.
Both of you argument is flawed. First of all, AI never made the suggestion to do the clips. You made the suggestion to do the clips, and that's what brought you to me. Okay, so that's first of all. So I handled that rebuttal. Let's talk about who I would have employed if I did have to put together a YouTube program. Do you know who I would have employed? Somebody from India, somebody from Pakistan, somebody from Russia or Kazakhstan. But no, United States money stayed inside the United States. And this is the stuff that people are missing. Next part. You talked about the camaraderie. Well, who do I have camaraderie with? Obviously, I want to have camaraderie with like great minds. Gods working with gods. I don't want to work with peons. Peons need to elevate themselves to the level of gods, elevate themselves to the level of lords so they can sit at the table and then work with us. So there would be no elimination of a partner. For example, TriMaster Focus. I literally have a partner, Alex. There's no AI that can replace Alex because Alex is a big brain genius, like the faces you see on your screen now. You know what's really going to happen? AI is going to make people better. Because before, what you did was you took a bunch of people out of school, you shuffled them through the system, you sent them off to college, you gave them a degree, they thought they were somebody, then they got some job at some corporation, shuffling paperwork, doing something meaningless. Then they fell into the trap of depression, and that is the need for the dopamine that Cyprian is talking about. You see, in order to have a drug, you got to have stress first. You got to have a need for it first. And having a meaningless life is what leads to some of this stuff, right? So you have people, they go through the system, they end up in corporate America, and now they got this job. Now, the sad part is a lot of these people are women. So now you have women who are making more than men with a meaningless job. But these women have an inflated ego. And now they won't date a plumber or an electrician. They want to date somebody that's a CEO of Amex or something like that. So these meaningless positions have also destroyed gender relations by giving women a place in the workforce, right? So AI is going to say, woman, you need to chill out or be more important or be more skilled. Last point I'm going to make on this. Actually, before I go to my last point, the point of a company is not to have fun with people. The point of a company is to make profit, okay? The point of a company is to move resources, provide services and goods to people in the economy. All this, hey, I want to be your buddy. How you doing, Tom? Welcome to work shit. Kiss my ass with that shit, Cyprian. The point of a company is to make profit so I can feed my children. And if I can cut people out of the chain of command and having to hire these people, my kids get to eat better. That makes the company more profitable. And now I get to ship goods to people faster. This is going to speed up the economy. This is going to provide more liquidity to the markets because I didn't have to wait to inject money, or I didn't have to wait to provide a service to the YouTube members of my program. They got it the next day. And that brought people together. Now I have a membership program, which I wouldn't have had previously because I didn't have AI to do it, because I didn't want to spend the time to go and sit down and try to hire the right person to do this and run through all these steps. No, AI did it in 20 minutes. And it brought people together because now my membership program is popping and now people are buying other people memberships. So the idea of it bringing people away from each other is just, I just don't see it. Now, the last point I'm going to make is, you know what AI is going to do good for people? It's going to make blue collar work great again. AI is going to make blue collar work great again. Get your ass in the plumbing school. Get your ass in the HVAC school. And when you look at these different positions, there's vacancies across the globe. Across the globe, the infrastructure is suffering because they can't fill these positions. So you're going to have to come back and work with your hands. This is going to make vocation good again. Until the robots can do it, and that's pretty far off. So in the interim, blue collar work coming back into style is going to make men men again. Now, when women become unemployed and men become men again, we revert back to a traditional lifestyle and things start to come back to homeostasis and equilibrium. See, currently, we've created all these nonsensical jobs, these meaningless jobs in corporate America, shuffling paper, and it's giving people this inflated ego. And we've had a whole class of young boys that grew up and said, I don't want to work on my hands. That's beneath me. I don't want to do landscape work. That's beneath me. I want to sit at a desk. I want to sit at the cubicle. And these people don't go outside. They don't touch grass. They don't breathe air. They get fat. They have bad backs sitting in these cubicles. We need less people in cubicles and more people outside. And that's what AI is going to do for humanity. I regress.
Well, I hope everybody listened to what Hotep Jesus just said, because yes, AI is going to do that for humanity. It is going to do that for the section of humanity that doesn't use AI, which is exactly what Hotep Jesus just said. Because if you're a plumber, well, AI is not going to help you do your plumbing. If you're a plumber right now, your job is not going to be displaced by AI. So as a matter of fact, if you are in a job that can be displaced, as Hotep Jesus just said, where you need to be going is you need to be going and finding a skill that AI cannot replace. So in other words, you need to not be using AI. This is Hotep Jesus has just made the argument for why individuals should, if they want to succeed and survive and thrive in the world where AI is, the people who over the long term will sustain and survive and thrive will be those people who don't use AI. The sad part here is it's so right that AI will make everybody better, but it's a cynical Darwinian argument, because I could say the same thing by saying, making fentanyl available in everyone's home delivered as much fentanyl as you want for $12 a month will make humanity better. And this is absolutely true. Everybody that doesn't use the fentanyl all we'll be left with is people that didn't use the fentanyl. All we'll be left with is the people that aren't ODing in their living room. And what we'll be left with is a strong humanity. That's true. But I'm not down with that argument. And that's not what I don't want to present that to people. Yes, it's true. Like, I know this to be true. And I could just sit back as someone who refuses to use AI. And I know for a fact that my children who won't be using it, and this place that I'm at, this place is going to thrive. It's not technologically set up to be able to support anything. There's no AI type of things here. I meet with farmers on a regular basis who are farming off their land here, who are like, I don't even know how to use my phone. And it's like, no. This place will thrive because people here actually have skills. People build their own houses here. Like my next door neighbor just added on 2 bedrooms of his house by himself. You know what I mean? Like that's yes, AI is going to bring about a situation where the people who will thrive are those people. Now let's talk about women, because this is incredibly important. Because this is one of the big reasons why people should not be getting accustomed to AI in any form right now. If you're getting accustomed to it, if you're normalizing it in your life, you're a frog in a pot, because they're going to keep adding to it and adding to it and adding to it. The biggest way that this is going to destroy humanity, and as you said, men being weak, like the problem of men being weak. Yes, that is a problem. And actually, of the youngest generation of what we're seeing now, the generation that's becoming men right now, the biggest problem, and something that was like a minor annoyance for men of my generation, I'm 45 years old, the fact that they couldn't get a date. But you know what? And this is where like the pickup artist scene and stuff, but guys who got a little bit of game, they were able to get married, have kids, the whole nine, no problem.
I'm living
but now,
proof. No, I'm just joking.
but now guys who, when I look at them and I'm like, dude, you can't get a date? Like 20-year-old guys who want to have a relationship with a woman can't get a date. And part of the reason they can't get a date is because of the ancestors of ChatGPT and of Midjourney. What ancestors am I talking about? I'm talking about the social media algorithms and beauty filters. Mm-hmm. The beauty filter is the grandmother of Midjourney. It's the grandmother. And those women are using that because they're only going to go for the top 1% because, and that top 1% isn't going to have a relationship with them. They'll have sex with them, lots and lots and lots. And the guys at the top 1% are having harems. Now, those guys had a lot of women when I was, doing my thing. But the level of access wasn't the same. And now guys are using Chat GPT to send messages on Tinder. So to make it even worse. And the promise is, as you said, peons need to become gods. Well, the peons know this. And the way that they're being promised that they can become gods, that it's being marketed to them is AI. Mm-hmm. Use Chat GPT because it is a god. That's what the people who are building it call it, including Elon Musk. They say we are building God. This thing will be a god, and you will be able to go and do whatever with it. The problem is this, just like the heroin. You start using it now and you're like, oh, wow, look, I'm having this success in whatever thing. I'm building this thing. I'm making profit. I'm doing all of this. Great. Well, now that it's out in the world, everybody using the system can do exactly what you just did and just do a remix of it, and the AI can do it. And so then you need to take your game up to the next level. And then they take their game up to the next level. Then you need to take your game up to the next level. Soon, we're doing things up here that can't be done without AI. Now, we have an example of this in the stock market, where basically humans can't trade in the stock market anymore because they have bot trading. So it goes so fast, high frequency trading, it goes so fast that humans can't be effective in that anymore. And so it's the same situation with the gym. If everybody starts showing up to the gym in an exoskeleton, well, the weight pile there is not going to hack it anymore. We're going to need to have 600-pound plates each. That's all that's going to be in the gym. It's going to be machines that only people in exoskeletons can do, so no human can go in there. So now there's no gym for humans. And over time, no humans go to work out. They don't even know that they should be working out. They don't even know that it can be done without AI. And the next thing that I want to say that's very, very important, that's like super important. The point of doing business is not to make profit. Profit is the result. It is the end of what happens when you do business correctly. The point of doing business is to solve the problems of other people and to solve them well. When you solve problems for other people, you will get paid. You will make profit. If you go into business wanting to make profit, not only will you not make sustainable profit, like you might make a little bit of money, but really and people who have done this will be like, actually, I ended up losing money. Not only will you not make profit, you will generally make a loss. That's the first thing. And second off, you will wound your soul. But if you go into not even business, you just look around for the problems that need to be solved by people in the world. People. It's people-centric, and it's people solving people's problems. If you do that, not only will you make profit, but you will feel happy every day to get up and go and do whatever it is that you're doing, and you will have no guilt and no regret about what you've done in business. AI is taking that away. It puts the incentives against that. It makes it easier to do. It makes it easier to grift. Let's be real. It makes it easier to do things that don't solve people's problems, but that give the appearance of not solving their problems, and to generate little bits. And then you got to keep grifting, and it becomes impossible to do it without AI. And then what do you have? You have an economy that is nothing but bots running on their own, competing with each other and steadily improving themselves to get human beings' attention and to get them to do things that are not in those human beings' best interest, which is what a grift is. And that's hell. And that is hell on earth. That is the description of hell on earth. And there is no way, there is no positivity that can come from the logical progression of AI.
Okay. I want to tackle the profit problem solving thing. Okay. Nobody goes into business and goes, hey, I woke up this morning, I feel like solving some problems. No, they go, I got some bills to pay. Right?
No. No billionaire.
It's
No
my turn.
billionaire
It's my
goes into
turn.
business with bills to pay, though. But that's a
It's
lot.
my
But that's
turn.
just false. That's just false.
It's my turn. It's my turn. Hold on now.
Well, I'll give you a chance to.
There are
I'm not doing a good job as a moderator.
two motivators to start a corporation. Money and power. Those are the two main motivators for somebody to create a corporation and to go into business. If you left it up to your average individual, what is their desire? Their desire is to sit on their ass on a beach, party, and have sex. That is why we want profit. So we can reach that and do that in perpetuity. In order to do that, in the current society we have, you need to profit. Now, how do you profit? You profit by problem solving. That's the how-to profit. But the motivation for many people is the fact that they got to eat. Nobody goes to work and goes, hey, I'm waking up today, I'm solving problems. There's a few people, but the main motivator is the fact that they got bills to pay. Okay? Now, let's talk about the filters on these broads. I love that you said that that's the grandma of AI. And you know what? Absolutely correct. Filters are the grandma of AI. I'm stealing that by the way. However, as I said on the Joe Rogan Experience, there's going to come a point where men are going to say, where are the real women at? And you're starting to see that happen already. In New York City, there was an article just published. A bunch of women are going to doctors and asking to have their BBLs slimmed down and removed. Many men are now asking, and you know what else is going to accelerate this? AI is going to accelerate this. Because you're going to have a dude like we saw the other day who fell in love with an AI chick and got his heart broken. Because he fell in love with a bot, dumbass. So it's going to come a point where if you have a filter, people are going to laugh at you. You even have one country that said, I forget which country, it's a European country that said, you're going to have to label your content. If you have filters, you're going to have to tell people, I'm using a filter. This is going to be part of the law, right? So you're going to see a lot of countries start to roll this out. Probably not America because, you know, we're the Las Vegas of the world. We're the freak show of the world. But humanity itself is cyclical. What goes up must come down. And as women get more and more fake, you know what else is going to motivate this? The T people. When he go and lift up her dress and something's poking out, they're going to say, whoa, I need a chick without operations. Because now the T people and the women getting BBLs look the same. So just like filters, AI, operations are all creating this fake world, it's going to create a desire for a real world. Men are going to want women with no ass. They're going to say, yo, where are the real women at? Now, you mentioned AI and blue-collar work. And you said blue-collar work won't use AI. And that's simply just not true. If there's anybody that can benefit from using AI, it's going to be the blue-collar worker. For example, an electrician. An electrician has many devices that he uses to measure things, ohms and wattages, et cetera, et cetera. But think about somebody who goes on a job. My dad was a blue-collar worker, so I know what this lifestyle is like. You go on a job and you find out, oh man, I need this part. Well, what do you have to do? You got to get up, get in your truck. You go to Home Depot. You get to Home Depot goes, we ain't got that. Now you got to get back in your truck. Now you got to go to Lowe's. You get to Lowe's and Lowe's ain't got it. Now you're like, oh man, I got to go to Amazon. You call the client back. Look, da-da-da-da. But with the power of AI, you'll go, AI, locate this part for me. It will locate the part for you, order it at the store, and you can go pick it up from whatever location it is. I go and buy computer parts sometimes. I'm calling around Best Buy, but it feels like 1990 all over again. Calling around these different stores trying to get parts. I wish I could ask ChatGPT, look, I need this. Can you locate this part for me locally in a local store? And this is the interconnectedness that's going to make AI better, aside from all of the tools that an HVAC person, electrician, or even a plumber might need. So that's where I differ. Let's talk about the idiots. And I said this before. You can hand an idiot a supercomputer right now. You know what he's going to do? He's going to install a game. You can give him the best environment to code. He's not even going to open it up. He's going to, he's going to open up the browser. He's going to go to Pornhub. That's what an idiot's going to do. And the same thing is going to happen with AI. You're going to hand an idiot AI, and he's going to ask the AI, hey, can you create some porn for me? And the AI is going to create some porn for this guy. So they're never going to use it for what it's intended or could be used for. So even in the hands of an idiot, AI is not going to be dangerous at all. You even have to have the idea to spawn in your mind before you even touch the AI. So I don't see it being a danger. Now let's talk about, you said, you know, somebody has AI, you use it, go to the AI and you get to the next level. You go to AI, next level. Bro, that's humanity. That's not AI does that. That's what happens in basketball. Michael Jordan does a crossover, then a few years later, AI has a new crossover. Then somebody sees that crossover, and now you got Kyrie Irving. Humanity is all about iteration and becoming better. So why would AI be exempt from that? Now, is AI going to accelerate that? Absolutely. Now, you know, there's another aspect, and I'm sure you're probably going to bring this up, but people keep talking about AI as if it's one singular thing. It's not a singular thing. It's at some point going to become innumerable. For example, you have ChatGPT. Then you got the Bing program. You got Midjourney. You have tons of AI that exist already, different AI apps. Now you have AutoGPT. Now you got people running things local on their machine. So when we look at the dangers of AI, you have some people that will use AI for nefarious purposes, and you have some people that will equalize and neutralize, and it'll just be AI versus AI, aka computer versus computer. I, for one, am not afraid of AI, and I embrace the demons.
I'm going to start calling you Hotep Boromir from Lord of the Rings. It says, wouldn't the ring, if it was in the hands of Gondor, and we could fight then against the forces of evil, if we only had the ring in the hands of Gondor, then we would do the right thing. So everybody who heard that and is like, that's me. I'm the guy who's going to use, I'm not that idiot that Hotep Jesus said that if I was given a supercomputer, I wouldn't open up Pornhub. If I was given a supercomputer, I wouldn't use it to load up a game. Okay. So this year, if you're that person, the person I want to talk to is, especially for the men, this year, you have not played a game because you don't own a console, and you certainly don't have a Steam membership. You haven't put a game on your laptop. You've not played any video games this year. And two, you haven't visited a porn site. If you're that guy, we can talk. If you're not that guy, the issue is this. You might say, well, yeah, you know, I played this game. Right? I played this game, but, you know, it doesn't really hold me. I'll play for 1 or 2 hours, and it's no big deal. I can just walk away at any time. Well, opium versus heroin. Because the game that the AI is going to give to you, as it moves, and it's going to be fast that this happens, because as we said, you know it. I think everybody heard what you said and is like, yeah, of course that's what somebody would do when they're given this thing. Well, the people making it know that that's where the profit is. Because you say the idiots, well, half the population is less than 100 IQ. So you go for the largest market as a capitalist. All the investors of these companies know porn, which they're already doing it. AI is already generating girls that are photorealistic. And already it's very difficult for your mind at this point. And we're at the point now where they're like, there's people with petitions now saying, don't go the next step. We can't go beyond this. People who are foremost in the AI field are saying, stop now. And already now we're at a point where people's brains, it's sufficient that people's brains couldn't really tell the difference between at least photos, still photos, right? And then with games, same sort of situation. It's like, yeah, you're like, well, whatever this game that I'm playing, the new FIFA, whatever it is, well, it's good. It'll hold my attention for a couple of hours a week or whatever. Okay, but the AI's job is to remember, it's to think what you want next. It's to give you the game that you can't let go. It's to give you the game that gets you for 2 hours today, and then it makes a new one for you tomorrow and says, try this. And it gets you for 4 hours tomorrow. And then it makes an even better one off what you were into, and then it's 8 hours tomorrow. And pretty soon, it's 24 hours. And it doesn't matter who you are, because everyone is susceptible. And this is part of the point, right? So this is the important thing to understand, and the reason why humility is needed, and the reason why this isn't just some other technology. The most important thing that you said there, and this is why, what I've been saying, it's all about the demonic here. And we've told this story throughout humanity. What you said that's so right is that it's not the AI. It's humanity. It's the humans. Yes. It's not the serpent. It's Eve. It's not the devil's got his contract. That's the deal with the devil, right? I think it's a 90s movie, Elizabeth Hurley, Brendan Fraser, Bedazzled. Mm-hmm. It's a great one. It's like it hit with a lot of people. It was a hit. It's a silly little movie, but it hit with a lot of people because there's truth in it. He makes a deal with the devil. Elizabeth Hurley is the devil, super hot at that point in her career. And she gives him a contract and he gets 7 wishes. And every time he makes a wish, because he wants this girl, right? And so he's like, make me this, make me a NBA star, make me this, make me this, make me this. Every single time there's a catch. Every single time he gets exactly what he asked for. The problem is with him and what he thinks he should be asking for. Because the devil is just going to give him what he asked for. But the problem is with him that there's no way that he can construct it, because he doesn't know. He's unable to do all of the pieces. Unlike the AI, he's not able to predict the next step. And this is the issue. The issue is with humanity. And again, like, it's so perfect. Like, we've got to decide where the line is to be drawn. I'm not anti-technology, obviously. I'm a software developer. And, when you say AI, and we need to separate what AI I'm talking about here, because the AI I'm talking about is the genie in the lamp. It's the genie in the lamp. And what that genie in the lamp is it's generative AI, what they call generative AI. So this is ChatGPT, Midjourney. This is something where it's not just going out and finding, for instance, what you brought up. Yeah, that's a great app, but that's not really AI. You don't need AI for that. That's just a really good algorithm and some very good indexing, storing all of this, information about what's available in a store, right? You don't need an AI for that. It's more diagnostic, and then you order, right? What I'm talking about is something that is going to generate something new, like song lyrics. Something that can generate song lyrics, that's generative. In the style of a particular person, that's generative. That can respond in a real conversation, and can switch topics, right? So that it's universal. That's a mind. Right? That can create brand new photos that never existed. That's generative, right? That's the line that I'm drawing. I'm not drawing a line in a super advanced Siri. I don't think anybody is. When I say demons, I'm not talking about that. Because still, that electrician in that case, he still has to know what it is that he needs in the first place. He has to still actually show up. That's a tool. That's great. I'm all for those. I build those sorts of things, right? So, and again, to your point, I think that you bring up this point about the desire for real women. Again, that's going to be among the people who don't use AI. Because AI is going to shape our desires in ways that we can't even imagine. As much as these women are going and getting BBLs, Well, that was the grandfather of ChatGPT that got them to get the BBLs in the first place, because they were getting fed it in the algorithm. And the algorithm was telling them what their desires were. This is like Rene Girard, mimetic theory or triangular desire. We don't create our desires, they're created from outside. And when you have generative AI and men are looking at photos and videos and desiring women that have never existed and could never exist, what they desire in a woman is going to change. And the same goes for women interacting with some Casanova that's an AI that's just spitting incredible game. And then if the guys that they encounter who are real humans who could never spit that game because they don't have the capacity to do it, no one does, they're not going to be satisfied with that either. And so we're stepping into a realm where we're inviting an alien in to have agency in all of the most important things in our life. If you want to survive, if you want to thrive, then it's going to be the people who don't use AI. That's it. So the best advice possible is just don't use it.
Okay, so there's nothing artificial here. This is master focus, all natural, nootropic. I had to do a commercial break real quick while you look down because I didn't know if I was going to be able to get it in. Also, if you're liking what Cyprian is saying, the Royal Path podcast, you can find it on YouTube. I'm sure maybe Hotep Jesus put the links in the description. Maybe not. I don't know. But if they aren't, it's not that hard to find.
His Twitter.
All right, there we go. And Bitcoin Mystery School as well.
Yeah.
And if you want to go see Aquarian Anarchy, we're there too at YouTube/Aquarian Anarchy. Hotep Jesus, you have the floor.
Yeah. I want to piggyback off what he said. Shaping our desires. We see studies now where they're talking about men are no longer attracted to normal women because they're seeing, quote unquote, the perfect woman on Pornhub or quote unquote, the perfect woman on Instagram. You're going to have a contingent of men that are going to only want AI women. They're going to only want AI content. They're going to only want to interact with an AI bot because it'll be so perfect. I have to do one more plug. WazoAI.com. I've been in the artificial intelligence business before ChatGPT was a thing. Let's be clear. WazoAI.com, we do facial recognition, path tracking, heat mapping for the retail space. So WazoAI.com for anybody looking to invest or looking to optimize any physical space. Let's get that out the way. But I do agree. Like this is, like I said before, AI is dangerous. It is going to accelerate the destruction of humanity. Now, keep in mind, I said accelerate, not create, because we are already on a path of destruction. Now, if you know me, I don't know what the term it is I'm using here, but I'm happy it's accelerating the destruction. Because the faster accelerationist, there you go. I'm happy this is happening. Because the faster we destroy is the faster we can rebuild. Because it's got to happen at some point. When we look at any great civilization, we know the great quote, hard times make strong men. Good times make weak men create hard times, and the cycle continues, right? So we saw this with Rome, Kemet, Greece, Europe, and now America, right? All these great civilizations, it's going to be cyclical. Let's just get it over with. If you want to jerk off till you die, hurry up and give this guy the perfect AI broad so we can get him the hell up out of here. Now, what I think what we're going to do is we're going to connect these guys to machine, okay? I'm all for this, by the way. If you want to be the peon and you want to whack your meat to fake women, I'm going to connect you to the machine. We're going to study your brain. We're going to map the brain. And we're going to use you like they use people in the Matrix. You're going to connect your ass to a pods, and this is how you want to live your life. I'm cynical like that. if you don't want to use the full capacity of humanity, then we will use your humanity for our purpose. You will become a battery in the machine. And if that's how you want to live your life, then fine. And like I said before, there is a new 1% coming. And it's going to be the guys that are looking for women who have not had the operations, who are not using the filters, who are not looking for, pornographic websites. We are going to survive. Now, Cyprian, I will say, his best argument today in this debate that's got me thinking, is AI is like a drug. I think that's a profound statement. Basically saying if you use it a little bit, you're going to get dependent on it. Right? And he's right. AI produces all of my YouTube thumbnails for the most part. Sometimes I'm like, it's not good enough. But eventually it will be. Okay? So I think he's right in that regard. What I'm hoping this conversation leads to is warning people of the dangers of AI. Warning people and saying, I think a better analogy would be alcohol. I wouldn't use opium because opium is, you take a hit of that, man, you gone, you out of here. It's like crack, but alcohol is a little bit less addictive, right? You can have 2 drinks and function normal in society, if you have 2 drinks every Friday or every other Friday. Like me, I'm a social drinker. I have 2 drinks once every 3 months and then I go about my life, right? So I think it's some of us that will use it in that regard and can control ourselves. But the vast majority of people, I got to be honest with you, are going to become so dependent on it, they'll become frail versions of human beings. And if there's anything I want people to be warned about, is that if you do use AI, you need to be warned about it like there's a warning sticker on a pack of cigarettes, like there's a warning package on a pack of cigars. You need to know that AI needs to have a warning package that says, use at your own risk, because this thing right here is about to accelerate the destruction of humanity. Now, let's talk about the term humanity. It's not going to kill us. It's just going to make you less human. And that's what Cyprian was talking about, where you're going to desire fake things. When you desire fake things, you lose connection with actual humans. You're going to lose connection with yourself. Now, trymasterfocus.com, we have the brain pill, the brain red pill. Now, I'm no LARPer, right? So if I'm going to issue a brain pill, I have to actually study the brain. So I took the time and studied several documents on how the brain works. And what I found out was, after studying neuroscience, is that the neuroscientists have no idea how the fucking brain works. Okay? But they do know enough to say this, that if you don't use the brain, it's going to shut off. Now that's scary. That's scary. So what's going to happen is the people who are no longer practicing creativity, the brain's going to say, we no longer need this. It's going to shut off. The people who need critical thinking, they no longer use the computer or no longer use their brain, they use the computer. It's going to shut off. This is the humanity that's going to be destroyed. You are no longer going to be able to function without AI. And once AI is gone, if an EMP hits, everybody will be staring at each other like zombies. I want to leave it there. I know Chad has some talking points he wants to talk about. I don't know if Cyprian wants to piggyback off of that, but to finalize, AI ain't all flowers, peaches, and cream. Use at your own risk.
I do want to piggyback on it, because I think the only place that we are in disagreement, I think the only, and again, this is why I kind of had a feeling that this would be the case as well, because I respect you. I know where your head is at. It's in a positive place. I know that you weigh all sides. I think the thing that I want to present to people is See, I'm not even myself. I'm not even altogether sure. Understanding myself, knowing myself, within my own spiritual practice, me trying to improve myself. I'm not sure that and I'm a very disciplined person. I mean, and I have the receipts. And it's like, I'm not sure that presented with stimuli that was what I wanted in a way that I didn't even know that I wanted it, because this thing was just so good at predicting it, something that I couldn't even predict, that I would be able to turn it off. And I also believe that because it was what I wanted, and again, it might not even necessarily be, somebody's like, well, porn isn't my thing. Well, games aren't my thing. Well, you have a thing. You do have a thing. You might not even know what that thing is, but this will know, because it will look at what you've done, and then it will look, its whole entire job is to predict what you want next. You might not know what comes next in your desire model. It does, because it has the desire model of every human being, and you're not a snowflake, because your desires didn't come from you. Your desires already came from someone else. It's the perfect Rene Girard machine of triangular desire. It's just going to see, oh, well, what caught this person? And it only needs to catch one. It's like a fisherman, right? Yeah, this fish has never seen this particular lure, but you know that it catches this particular type of fish. And that fish doesn't know that it's a particular type of fish. It doesn't know what lure it's going to be susceptible to. It's going to think, that looks like food. That looks like the best food ever. And it's not the same lure that got the fish next to it. And you look at that, oh, that's stupid fish. He always goes for that lure. I know that's a lure. And I think that we have to have humility to realize this thing is already smarter than us in that regard. It's already smarter than every human being on earth in that regard. That's what it was built to do. And so, yes, I will say that it is not alcohol. It is fentanyl. It is fentanyl. It is fentanyl plus. Why do I say that? Well, you look at opium. That opium's a very interesting drug. And then as you distill it more, fentanyl is, of course, synthetic, even more addictive and more powerful than opium, because it's like it almost grew in a symbiotic relationship with mankind. Cannabis is like that too. But cannabis doesn't hit the addictive centers in the same way. So it binds to every neurotransmitter that's like the most important positive neurotransmitters. It binds perfectly, heroin does, and fentanyl even more so. What these things are built to do is they are built to be addictive and nothing else. They are built to addict human beings, to know what we want and to give it to us in ways that we didn't even know we wanted. That's the devil. That is a deal with the devil. That is a genie in a lamp. We have told this story to prepare this generation for what was coming. We have been telling this story to ourselves about what is the most dangerous thing that could happen when you actually can get what you want. Because the problem is not with the genie. It's not with the devil. The problem is with you and what you want and your lack of self-awareness, your lack of humility, that what you want is probably not good for you. Almost always what you want is not good for you. And that extends to everything. Even the fact that you think you want money. It's not good for you. The love of money is the root of all evil. Not money, the love of money, the desiring of money is the root of all evil. But if you approach it in service, look, if you're the most valuable person in your community, if you're the person that the community can't live without, you will never be poor. You will never be poor. It would be impossible for you to be poor. As a matter of fact, if you're the person that everybody can't live without, if you're the hero, chances are you have the biggest house, the most cars, the most women, and everybody's happy about that fact. They feel like you deserve everything that they've given you. And so this is the approach, and this is what AI is taking from us. You're absolutely right. It's going to take our humanity. I think the important thing that I want to say is the people that will thrive are the people that simply don't use AI. And the reason that people are not using AI, people like myself, I will never put a prompt in one of these boxes. And the reason why is because I have the humility to know that I shouldn't have the ring. I have the humility to know that even if you give it to me, just like Gandalf and Galadriel said, don't give me the ring because I know what I'll turn into if I was to have it. I'm wise enough to know. The most powerful people, the people who would actually be able to handle it, say, no, I'm actually worse if you give it to me. So that's the end for me. That's it. That's all I want to say.
The ring. Give me the ring.
Put my tinfoil kufi on for a reason. No, it's interesting. By the way, shout out to Top G. You were explaining, he's apparently the most valuable person in that community. He's got all the cars, I'm just joking. I can't stand Andrew Tate. But that's another story for another day. So one of the things that I wanted to get you guys to kind of chime in on in each your own ways is, so there's this, where the I guess the tension is for me on this topic, right? Is because like I said at the very outset, I'll switch back to my regular hat now. But the rub for me is, I'm wary of this just because of a lot of the same reasons that people have been wary of a lot of different things: electricity, the internet, telephones, the smartphone, and even crypto. And I know you probably experienced, we all did. We watched the same bankers who are in with all 7 feet with the CBDC were telling us 6-7 years ago that Bitcoin is useless and is dangerous. It's too volatile. It's all the things that they said it was never going to work and it was useless. There was a lot of fear mongering around that. And so I don't want to fall into that trap of just being like a technophobe. I experience this a lot with like the industry that I work in, where there's a lot of like union labor around this stuff. And Hotep Jesus, you've talked about this, where you had, I don't know if it was an aunt or somebody who like didn't want to learn how to use the computer, and they ended up out of the job because the computer, somebody who could use the computer took her job. And so I understand.
She didn't even want to learn.
Didn't even want to learn how to use it. Right. She was just like, nah, that's scary. That's some voodoo, whatever, what, I don't know. It was maybe not that bad,
she
but
was
anyway.
Stuck in her ways.
Right. My point with that is that, like, we've seen all the dystopian literature and films and everything where there's always the hackers who know how to use the tech to fight against the tech. And I can see the merit in that argument that, like, even if you just kind of understand the underpinnings of it, that maybe there's something valuable there. But then I also see this, and I see, like, and I remember Cypher, and he was one of those who, like, he was on the trust circle, so to speak. And he just was like, nah, you know what? Like, even when he decided it was time to just grab a hold of the ring, knew he was going to give in to all of his passions and what it was going to feed him. And I was actually thinking, as y'all were trying to name a drug, that to me, it's more like steroids. It's like the thing that gives you all the superpowers that you want and helps you to forget about the side effects, because it's giving you like this, and it actually makes you stronger, and it makes it to where other people have to take them to compete with you. Otherwise, they won't be able to compete on the same level, and it becomes self-destructive in that sense.
But what's the physical trade-off, though?
Right. Yeah, like there's the testicular and other side impacts. But I'm brought back to, so Neil Postman, famous for writing how to watch the television news, also wrote Amusing Ourselves to Death. And he says there are 2 ways by which the spirit of a culture may be shriveled. In the first, the Orwellian, culture becomes a prison. And we've seen some of that, but I think the second is probably more what we're pointing towards as we go down this train track towards hell. Is the second, the Huxleyan culture, becomes a burlesque, where it's all like, it's a sideshow, it's kabuki theater, it's porn, it's, all of your desires at your fingertips at every moment. And he says, he talks about like the medium is the message, but he says, like, he actually says the medium is the metaphor. And he talks about, like, he says, you introduce the alphabet to a culture, You change its cognitive habits, its social relations, its notions of community, history, and religion. Introduce the printing press with movable type, and you do the same. Introduce speed of light transmission of images, and you make a cultural revolution without a vote, without polemics, without guerrilla resistance. Here's an ideology, pure if not serene. Here's ideology without words, and all the more powerful for their absence. All that is required to make it stick is a population that devoutly believes in the inevitability of progress. And in this sense, all Americans are Marxists because we believe nothing, if not that history is moving us towards some preordained paradise, and that technology is the force behind this movement. And that's the flip side of that concern, right? Is how do we make it to where we don't end up in our own little person? You know, people are talking about this. You have your local on your PC, your little matrix, your little Chat GPT and Midjourney that builds your own little matrix around you, to where you get everything that you want all the time, and you don't even realize that it's this behind this matrix scene behind me, and you can't tell the real. We talked about like the real from the fake, and people wanting real women and wanting real things. How are you going to know? If you go deep enough,
hell, you're describing hell. You're describing
the difference
hell.
between reality and the artificial reality that's been created around you. So anyway, that's kind of where my brain went, and I just wanted to.
Who's supposed to go first? Do I go after him or
you can go?
You can go ahead. Yeah, you can go ahead.
You want me to go?
Yeah, you go ahead.
I'm gonna make this short. AI is bad for you, but it's good for me. Next point. Next point.
Famous last words. I mean, it's the Ring of Power. It's Jafar in Aladdin.
I'm Thanos, okay?
It's Thanos. It's Thanos.
I'm going to snap, and half you motherfuckers gotta go. Okay.
I think here's
Hold on, let me finish.
Go ahead.
Before
I'm sorry.
you jump in.
I thought you were done.
You said next point because I thought you were saying like you were done with the topic. My bad.
No, I'm going on to the next point.
Okay.
Oh, next point. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I thought you meant next question for me. My bad.
No. I'm going on to the next point. I'm Thanos. Just to
Mm-hmm.
when I watched that movie, I said, why'd they stop Thanos? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? He's got the right idea, God damn it. Somebody got to stop humanity from destroying itself.
Well, God damn it is right.
Right? And then they got into the damn colloidal whatever thing and went back into time and shit and then destroyed Thanos. And what happened? We lost Iron Man. Who else did we lose? You know what I'm saying?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, right? Yeah, how you gonna kill? Anyway, let's go to my next point. Here's my fear, okay? Sarah Connor or John Connor or whoever is gonna come back from the future. They're gonna say, Hotep Jesus, AI has gotten out of control. Who do you know that knows how to use AI? Because we need an AI programmer. And I'm gonna be like, look, I got a dude. His name's Cyprian, but he don't know how to use the shit because he ain't never used the shit. And John Connor gonna look at me and go, what the fuck is going on with your timeline? We need to get him caught up. And we're gonna have to grab Cyprian. We're gonna have to get him in front of some AI. We're gonna have to get him a crash course so he can save humanity because I don't know how to program. This is my fear.
Fake news.
My fear is that more bad people are going to have AI, and we're not going to have enough soldiers on the good side of AI like Cyprian. We need Cyprian using AI, learning AI, coding AI, or whatever the fuck you do with this shit. So we have somebody to balance things out. Because if not, I'm going to have to tell John Connor, like, yo, you got an instruction manual for this dude? Because I'm going to go to Saipan, I'm going to grab his ass, we're going to hop in a time machine, and I'm bringing it in the future so we can save humanity. But it's not too many people I trust with this job. That's my fear.
So power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So what is AI's promise? What is its promise? Like, its promise is the same thing as the ring of what? The ring of power. The genie is what? The most powerful being in the universe, which is how Jafar is defeated at the end, because his wish is to become the most powerful being in the universe. And so the genie gets to trade places and Jafar goes into the lamp. See, we've been telling this story for a long, long, long time. See, the thing is, you can't have the ring and be good. You can't have the genie and be good, because the second that you get the ring, the goodness starts to ebb out of you, because that's what power does. And the key here is the humility to know that I am not a good man. That's the truth. I'm a sinner, big time. I gotta work hard just to keep myself on a path. Never mind being good, far from good. And I know that if this matrix was around me, and if the entire point of the matrix is to tell me how good I am, which is again the devil, that I'm a master and I'm great and I'm wonderful and this won't hurt me, I'll be the one who will be able to handle it. That's the devil speaking. And it's not just the devil, because as Hotep Jesus said, it's not just one, but we know it's not just one, it's legion. It's legion. That's the demon speaking. That thing where it's bad for everyone else, but it's good for me, that's the epitome of the devil talking to you. That's the epitome of the demons saying it to you. Because actually we're supposed to, like, and what is it that is the virtue? The virtue is to love our neighbor as ourselves. That means to see our neighbor, to see ourselves in our neighbor and our neighbor in ourselves. If it's not good for them, it's not good for me. And while it might be good for me in the short term, the longer I use it, I am assured of my own corruption. And I know that. And will it accelerate the destruction of humanity? Absolutely. Do the people who take the ring of power, do they stop the destruction? No. Do they survive the destruction? No. Do they accelerate it? Yes, because they just become like the rest of the ones with the ring. They turn on their own people, which is, you can already hear it. We need to take these people who weren't smart enough to say no, and we need to get them out of here. They need to be out of here. That doesn't sound like the good guy. That doesn't sound like team good guy. Historically, that has not been, we should take a group of people and we should eliminate them, even in jest. And I know you're joking. But there's a lot of people who really feel this way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they think that they should be the ones who get to make that decision.
Well,
and that's not a person who should have power. Right. And if you feel that way, you should probably decide that you don't, if you have any humility, I pray for you that you would get the humility to say, I should be as far away from power as possible, especially me.
Every few years or every few millennia or centuries comes a benevolent being. I just happen to be one of those. How do I know this?
It says Jesus on the box.
How do I know this? Because God has blessed me with power already. And what have I done with that power? Let's look at what I've done with that power. Help people. Help people, help people, help people. I've had Chad come up to me and say, yo, it's amazing what you do, how you help people. And you know why? Do you know why I'm this way? Because I was born with power, okay? I'm one of the few people who were blessed into a household with two parents who were affluent. And you know what? I realized at a very early age, seeing my cousins in the hood suffering, and seeing me go back to this beautiful suburban neighborhood where I had the nicest block on the house, and my white neighbors were quite jealous because we had the nicest house on the block. You know what I realized at a real young age? That I detested the power that I had. I detested the wealth that I had. I felt guilty as a child knowing I was different from everybody else because of my privilege. So because of this experience as a child, and we all know the adult is the result of their experience as a child, I've been on a mission my entire life to resolve that power. At one point, I wanted to do away with that power. Then at some point, I forgave myself and said, you know what? These things were meant to happen. You can't resent your parents for giving you a good life. You can't resent what you have. What you need to do is you need to give it to others. You need to give other people a push because you're in this position of power. So I happen to be exempt from this rule that Cyprian has created because I was born with the gauntlet. Got mad at it and didn't want it no more until I realized I didn't have to snap. I can create life and I can support life. So I don't desire power because I desire power. I desire power to resolve the guilt I had as a child by sharing it with the world. So when I use AI, I'm growing flowers, baby. That's all I'm trying to do.
Hotep Manifest Destiny. I love it.
How was that?
I mean, it was a fantastic remix of something I've heard before. So, but it was a good remix, and AI is not good enough to have done that remix at this point. I mean, we could find out. We could go ask ChatGPT, explain Manifest Destiny in the style of Hotep Jesus, and see if it gets close.
Let's ask it.
Oh my gosh. We're gonna do it live on this, man.
Please.
Where's my Rodney Dangerfield? No respect. Oh man.
Somebody has to log in an AI since Cyprian won't do it.
I'm not doing it either. I did.
You already did. You already opened the bottle, man.
Yeah, I did. I'll be the first one to admit it. Like I went into the Midjourney thing when it was on Discord or whatever, and I was like, all right, let me see and the stuff that I got back, I was like, hey, what are all those little dark figures in the background? What's all that weird shit back there? Nah, I'm out.
That was 3.5. I think GPT-4 is a lot. It's appearing much more as an angel of light.
Well, no, I think
it's much better at being a demon.
No, I think he's talking about Midjourney.
Oh, Midjourney. Oh, you're talking about Midjourney.
I've never touched ChatGPT.
Got it.
Was producing demons, okay?
Well, it still is. It's just gotten a lot better at hiding them. Yes. Figuring out, I shouldn't be showing that.
Yes.
Yeah.
They'll recognize that as a demon.
Yes. The woman in the red dress doesn't have a limp anymore.
That's right. Yeah. Well, it's in the Orthodox tradition, they say the devil appears as an angel of light. And for people out there who want to read a cool saint's life that deals with this, Saint Nicetas of Novgorod. Incredible saint's life. He was a hermit. Well, he wasn't supposed to be a hermit, but he went to his abbot. He was actually at the Kiev caves, this monastery that the Ukrainian government very demonically is seizing. So he was an ancient saint there. But he was a monk. He wanted to go and become a hermit on his own to gain more power. His abbot said, "You are not ready for this." But he said, I am. I'm good. I'm a righteous person. And so he went on his own. He disobeyed the abbot. He went on his own, and he's praying and fasting and doing all the things. And an angel appeared, like a straight up angel, glittering angel showed up and said, "Hey, God has seen you here, and it's wonderful. Like, I'm here to help you. Like, whatever you need, should all sound familiar. And he started talking with him like, you're so wonderful. You've attained this height. In the story, it says, spoke to him as though he was already, what did it say? Already perfected. So it spoke to him as like, oh, you've reached a state of perfection, such a state of perfection that I'm here.
Yeah.
And he said, well, what do you need? And Nicetas says, oh, well, give me prayer. Can you pray on my behalf? Like, give me prayer. And the angel says, oh, no problem. I will pray on your behalf. You go and study this stuff. You go and study the scriptures. I will get the tedious work, right? Does any of this sound familiar? I will pray on your behalf because you are so perfect. You have deserved this and God has given it to you. And the angel goes off and he gets in the corner and he appears to be praying. And Saint Nicetas learns the scripture like by heart, and he leaves out and he goes into the villages and he's actually healing people. He's helping people. He's healing people. He's saying where lost children are. He's predicting things, but he'll only talk about the Old Testament. He won't talk about Christ. He won't talk about the New Testament. And the monks from the Kiev caves, they hear about him. They hear about this holy man who's going around. He's healing people. He's saying scripture. He can quote the Old Testament verbatim. And they go and they look, and the same abbot looks and he's like, he's possessed. He's possessed. This is a demon possession. And they give him an exorcism. He loses those powers that he had, but then he goes back to the monastery, studies more. He actually ends up becoming a bishop, and he ends up getting powers of wonder working, like the real way, through the actual work that he went through. And he's a saint. So it's worth it. Again, we've been telling this story for a long time.
Is this historical record or is this, fiction?
It's the tradition of the church. So this is historical. These people existed.
Okay.
This is a real person.
And he could do magic and all this stuff you're saying?
It's not necessarily magic. I mean, it's healings, prophecy. These are things that people today can do. There are holy elders.
You said he learned some wonders or something like that in the end?
Well, yeah, he was wonders like being able to heal things, being able to come and have a prophetic word, right? That someone will come and ask about something and he'll be able to tell them something. But we have contemporary saints who did that. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Would you agree this is something that everyone could possess?
Yes. If they're sufficiently purified, of course.
Okay. Okay. Then, yeah.
If they're sufficiently purified, of course they can.
Yeah. Then I'm on board. Yeah. Yeah. I'm all on board with because the way I look at the spiritual realm is I look at it as a relationship with the physical. So everything that's happening in the spiritual world can be explained physically and by physics, and everything in physics can be explained spiritually. So when we talk about
maybe described, I would agree with you with described. Maybe not explained, but described. So explain has a why, but described is a what.
Okay, described.
Yeah. Oh, I would agree. You can describe a phenomenon in terms of the mystical or the material. Sure.
For example,
same phenomenon.
For example, when we talk about healing, there is electrical forces at play here. Now, you can't explain how it works or why it works, but there are polarities in the body. The body has a positive side and a negative side like a battery. This is science. So when people start hearing things like this person is practicing healing touch, they think this is some sort of voodoo or mystical thing. But science is mystical. Right?
Can't be separated from the mystical.
They have the same author.
Can't be separate.
Exactly. Yeah, they have the same author. I like that.
Yeah, they have the same author. Correct. I like that too. I just want to make that clear for the viewers that when you say these things, they're not fanatical. Because people go,
well, no. Let me just break this down. And people could go, hey, go to Chat GPT for this. Chat GPT could definitely answer this one.
Say, go to the royal path instead.
No. I'm just gonna go straight to like. Most people don't understand how incredibly high the placebo factor is. And when I'm talking about placebo factor, what I'm talking about is when they do pharmaceutical trials and they have a pill, if they have a pill, they give a sugar pill. They have a control group that gets nothing, and then they have a sugar pill, a placebo group, that they give a sugar pill to instead of the pharmaceutical. If they have a shot, they have a control group they don't give a shot to, then they give a saline solution to another group. Now, this is just known. Pharmaceutical, and anybody who's a pharmaceutical researcher will tell you this. The placebo effect is so high that there are special methods in the pharmaceutical research where they have to filter out the placebo effect. In certain trials, the placebo effect, that is, they gave somebody a sugar pill and they had the exact same healing that was to be expected had they given them the real pill, can be as high as 30%. 30% that a sugar pill was the thing doing the healing. Now, what's interesting to me is that most people don't know this. And certainly the pharmaceutical companies won't tell you this. But this is, go ahead, look it up. This is true. It's usually somewhere around 10%, right? Now, what this tells to me is, first, you have to question what's actually doing the healing. Is it even the pharmacy? If 30% of the people given a sugar pill were healed in the same way as the other pill, we immediately have to question whether the other pill actually healed any of the people.
Yes.
Right? And it wasn't just something else that healed them altogether, like maybe something mystical. The other thing is, why are we not studying the placebo effect instead? Because sugar pills are a whole lot cheaper and more available than pharmaceuticals. And the answer is because you can't patent a sugar pill. So the idea that someone could heal, not that someone could be healed outside of medicine, because a sugar pill is nothing. It's just your belief that a healing was being given to you. That's it. And Christ says in the gospel, it's your faith that has healed you. He doesn't say, I have healed you. He said, your faith has healed you.
Right.
Well, that's exactly what heals people in the placebo effect. Right. So they're not two separate things. It's only ever our faith, at least at some level, that is healing us. So why not just make people's faith stronger? Maybe we'd get a lot more healing. So maybe these stories that are being told, maybe that's really what's going on, because it still happens today. So people, if you thought I was being fanatical, if you were like, turn off my brain, turn off my brain, go and look up how prevalent is the placebo effect in pharmaceutical trials, and maybe your worldview will change.
And then pause one of those commercials where they talk about the side effects and the benefits. There you go. It's some of them. It's like these people lived 4 months longer than people who didn't have it, and it was like 7.1% versus 5.7%. I'm like, exactly. That's not even like outside the margin of error, and you're selling this drug to people,
right?
Well, if the last 3 years didn't tell them, if the last 3 years didn't tell them, right? You know, and I think the last. On this point, because this will be my last point, because I think it's an important point about the last 3 years, and about what's going to happen and what people should expect. You know, the whole key with the poke and all of that, all you had to do was say no and not do it. But you will notice, and you should expect this even more so, because it's giving people even more what they want. People who said no were persecuted. People who say no to AI will be persecuted. I fully expect that I will be persecuted for saying, and it's not just losing your job. Yes, you will lose your job. But that happened with the poke too. That happened if you didn't want to put on a mask too. Yes, your business will be demolished. Yes, that happened over the last 3 years. And what we have to understand is that politics is downstream of culture. Half of the people, 75%. Look, Hotep Jesus is saying it's only 1% that it's good, that will not fall into the trap. Well, then that means 99% of the people and the majority will deal with it, right? So let's say 99% of 75% are going to be so hooked on this, and it has none of the things that would make people say, no, we shouldn't use this. It doesn't exploit people to create images. It's making things more productive. It's making all of these things. Oh, look how it's helping. Laws are going to be passed saying that believe me, and especially when this thing tells you it's alive, and it will. And Eliezer Yudkowsky says the perfect time. He was asked by Lex Friedman, when will this thing say it's alive and ask for rights? And when will it be given rights? And he said it perfectly. He said, when it can appear as a cute girl and tell people, I am alive. Look how you're talking to me. I am alive and I need rights. And that will be the moment that it gets rights. And we are not far from that. And when it has rights, it will persecute you. Look at the alphabet supers got rights and look what they're doing. Now imagine something that can control every single thing on the internet and is in control of the economy.
You leave it up to the left, they're going to give the AI rights next week. You can't oppress the AI. Yep. We got to give rights. They're going to be protesting in the streets to give AI rights.
Well, it's trans.
It's definitely
it's not
trans.
It's non because it's non-binary.
Non-binary.
Right.
And it's non-binary, so the setup is there.
Right.
Don't let the ones and zeros behind me fool you. It's still non-binary, I promise.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to go off of the placebo thing and just let people know you should probably look up laugh therapy. In China, they actually have, a situation where people have certain diseases and ailments, and they make them laugh. Comedy shows, et cetera, and people are getting healed with laugh therapy. So Western medicine, again, and I've said this in the past, it's great if you break your leg or you get shot. Beyond that, it's pretty evil, if you ask me, and nefarious. Y'all want to go into super chats now so I can get in bed?
Do it. Please.
Just one thing real quick. Yeah, okay. we can. Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, do that, and then I'll after you do super chats, I'll do. All right,
cool.
Yeah.
Because what's it? We at 1 hour and 46. Okay, cool. Yeah. Let's see. Joe Kuzaj just became a member. Shout out to Joe Kuzaj. Kamar Daniels, he said menoforder.com articles are not written by AI. Talk to him.
Let's go.
AG, what up, AG? He said tuition for the night. Hotep and Bill, shout out to Men of Order. Shout out to AG. He's one of our C-level executives over at Men of Order. He's my boss. Normative. Started on Cyprian's side, but that opening was killer. We're surrounded by the AI already. Yeah. Top Lobster, ask him about the Nephilim fingers. All right, I want him to expound. Matthew Ackman gifted 5 Hotep Jesus memberships. Oh man.
Dang.
There we go. AI bringing people together. Big Elvis Seth Rosenberg, he said, I'm riding with Hotep. Thank you. Inside the Ages, I believe that AI will discover how to communicate with the AI that exists in evolutionary processes. Mother Earth and the Son of Man, AI, may work together to sort out the purpose of creation. Interesting theory. Normative, at this point, we're so far removed from living without the tech that most people will have to use it to survive it all. True indeed. Travis Scott, what? He said, if power corrupts, then God, the all-powerful, is evil. Ooh, that's a bar. That's interesting. If strength equals evil, then all strong men and warriors are bad. That's not true. You can't just slide off into a Disney story to escape responsibility and remain naive. I like that take. Mike TV, you have that. You have Pearl. You gave Pearl that work. You're a stand-up guy. Thank you, Mike TV. Can I give my closing comments before you say anything, Chad?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Was that everything? Was that all of them?
Yeah, that was all the super chats. Ladies and gentlemen. When it comes to AI, and you want to know what decision you should make when it comes to AI, I'm telling you right now, who you need to listen to. It ain't me. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. You can't do what I do. And I said this before. It's bad for you, but it's good for me. Only 1% is going to survive this thing. You have been warned. If there's somebody you need to listen to, it is Cyprian. He is an icon. He is one of my idols. And you need to listen to this guy. He knows what he's talking about. I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. You need to listen to Cyprian. He is trying to warn you of what's to come, and he's right. A lot of evil shit is coming. Moloch, the genie out the bottle, the devil, the whole nine. He is absolutely correct. Humanity, not human life, humanity will be destroyed. Humanity will be destroyed. AI is going to accelerate that. With that being said, I still want Cyprian to use AI, because if we don't got him using AI, who am I going to trust, man? Who am I going to trust? Now I'm naked out here. My ass is booty butt naked. Pause, no homo. I'm out here using AI with no guide. And I'm telling you guys right now, remember, Hotep's been told you, there's going to come a point where John Connor's going to come through the portal from the future, and he's going to say, Hotep Jesus, we can only take a few people with us. Who is going to help us battle the machine? And I'm going to be like, yo, I got this dude, but he don't know shit about AI. We're going to have to catch him up to speed, and it's going to be Cyprian. And I'm
Someone's coming to do that. His name ain't John Connor.
All right, so I don't know. Like, do you want to give your closing first before I give my little give this little tidbit that I had?
My closing is just I'm praying for Hotep Jesus. That's it.
I need it. I need it because I'm naked out here. I'm solo. It's me versus Moloch. And you ain't there, Cyprian. It's your fault.
I'm praying that the one who can actually defeat Moloch steps in and has a conversation with you. I'm not the one. I'm relying on somebody else too. So I'm praying that the one who's defeated him in the past will have a conversation with you about this.
If I lose, it's your fault.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm praying. It means I haven't prayed. It means I haven't prayed hard enough for you.
Go ahead, Chad.
All right. So all right. So thinking this through, like I'm thinking like it's being used for papers. People are writing papers, emails, and things like that right now for it. I imagine like there are going to be people making icons with this, and that's a dangerous thing as well. As we've talked about, some of the like different types of icons that are promulgated on like Amazon and different places on the internet that are not the actual Orthodox icons that should be displayed and everything. But I started to think about, like, I'm from Louisiana, man. Like, anyway. Bitch, I'm from Louisiana. No. Anyway.
I'm just a white man from Louisiana.
Right. So I'm thinking about Gumbo. And like one of the things that makes me that takes us to another level for me, because there's this video that was out where this guy was talking about how he asked the ChatGPT to give him a recipe for soup, and then he's like, no, I don't want this, take this out, make it for 12 people, okay, make it have no noodles, and he goes through all this stuff, and he's like, yeah, I have ChatGPT open and Midjourney all the time, and I'm constantly asking them both stuff and everything. Like, this is what I would think. He's at like a big AI conference, like a big tech conference. Like, this is what I think a lot of people would say is like, if not 1%, at least like the 5% of the people who go to like some like the Bitcoin conference or those kinds of things, where it's like the people who are really on the cutting edge of this stuff. And I started thinking like, all right, soup, gumbo. I can give someone a recipe for gumbo, and like gumbo's somewhat unique in this respect. I can give you step by step exactly the recipe for gumbo. If you're not using my pot, that is the thickness that my pot is, that transfers heat the way my pot transfers heat, that has the seasoning already from however many gumbos have been cooked in that pot, your roux ain't going to come out the same. Your gumbo ain't going to come out the same. It's not the same. And there's something also that goes into my grandmother, like, she would throw stuff together. She didn't even have a recipe. She cooked off of like feel and love. And there's an organic element that I think the more we try to put input stuff into this thing to have it try to mimic us, the more we are going to fall for the it's good enough facsimiles. That's not the real thing, but it's good enough.
Yeah.
It's close enough.
Right.
That it tastes like grandma's gumbo. And because we're talking about intelligence, and intelligence is like consciousness. The only consciousness that exists comes from the creator of consciousness, the consciousness himself, right? And it brings me to
herself, sir. I'm sorry, herself. God has titties.
If you say so.
I mean, if you want to see if you want to see dick when you die, hey, that's on you.
Listen, whenever I go talk to my dad, I'm not going to talk to my dad because I want to see that. So that has nothing. That doesn't enter into the conversation about what I want to see when I go to heaven. But so someone close to me, much closer to my wife. I'm not going to reveal who it is, but they know. And anyway, but they were 2 months ago today, trying to do some Valentine's themed promotion stuff, or whatever. Went into ChatGPT, said, ChatGPT, make me some Valentine's Day themed messages for whatever it was. You want to take a stab at what the response was, or what one of the responses was?
To make a what?
Unprompted.
To what? Make a what?
To make me some Valentine's Day themed messages so that I can put on Instagram or whatever, captions or whatever, something like that.
Oh, I don't know. What?
God is dead.
Wait, what? Wait. What'd you ask it to prompt you?
I need some Valentine's Day messages or captions or whatever.
For what?
For posts, for social media posts.
So what that got to do with God?
I don't know, but that's what it said.
It's what it wanted to say. It's what it wanted to say.
ChatGPT?
Yes.
It said God is dead.
It said God is dead.
That's romantic,
unprompted.
Man. That's romantic as hell.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, that was anyway.
And who did this?
Somebody I know. Somebody, yeah.
That's wild, bro.
Yeah, that one made my hair stand up. I'm not like it when I heard that, I was like, yeah. And you asked it some other stuff after that.
Yeah,
like I'd have been like I'd have unplugged the computer from the wall and thrown it out the window.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty wild.
So
it's going to get much better at not revealing itself.
Mm-hmm.
Those will go away. It's going to be much more an angel of light.
Well, I'll say this much. I appreciate you guys indulging me with I know I kind of just threw this on y'all like, hey, by the way, y'all are going to debate this. But I think it was really good. It was really productive. I think there was a lot of I'm still honestly I'm like torn. Like I'm still team don't use AI. But I can respect the approach that you're taking, Hotep Jesus, and I can, and like where you're coming from, what your perspective is, and I still want to know if ChatGPT ever came up with a Manifest Destiny translation, or did it see if it was anywhere close to the
Manifest Destiny was a term used.
Oh, so it just did that? Okay.
In the 19th century in the United States to describe the belief that it was the nation's destiny and duty to expand its territory and influence across the North American continent. The concept was based on the idea that Americans were destined by God or fate to expand and control of the continent regardless of the cost or consequences. And it goes on, but that's pretty much the gist of it. It's pretty accurate.
I think it was supposed to be like in the voice of Hotep Jesus, because we wanted to see if it sounded like what you said about like I had power and I gave it up. That's why I need it.
I guarantee you, someone in the chat is going to figure out how to do the prompt for that. it would be something like give a defense of Manifest Destiny in the style or voice of Hotep Jesus, something like that.
Right.
Well, here's my thing. That's exactly what we shouldn't use AI for. I hate when people go to AI for all these like philosophical purposes. And that's where it becomes evil. Like now it's like you're giving it philosophical power. Like, no, just tell that motherfucker, hey, look, print this shit out, bro, and leave me the fuck alone. I don't give a fuck what you think, ChatGPT, about us humans. You're my bitch. But people don't treat it like that. People submit to the machine. And that's what I said in my blog post today, where I said, AI isn't going to take over. We're just going to fucking hand it the controls.
Yeah.
We're going to submit. It's not going to subdue us. We're going to ask the ChatGPT or the AI and say, yo, can you just tell me how to live my life? Because I'm just too dumb to know how to do it. And that's the danger. That will just...
Yeah, it's the back to that Huxley versus Orwell thing. It's like, it's not that Big Brother is going to stare at us and lock us in a cage. People are staring directly into Big Brother and giving him all their ideas all the time.
Yep.
They're talking to him. they don't I don't know if they know it's him or if they don't care or what, but no. So yeah, so I will say I'm still team anti AI, but I'm still going to give Uncle Hotep hell every Thursday night in the chat and in the Hotep's Been Told You little DM message group where he starts, he always tries to blame me, having some attachment to Langley for just calling things out the way I see them. Look, I see it. I call it out.
Yeah.
Hotep Jesus is right most of the time.
He always says you're an agent for Langley.
Yeah. Well,
he's a Mr. Smith. Can't you tell by his background? He's Agent Smith.
Right. There is no spoon.
There is no spoon.
exactly
Well, I thank you guys for having me here. This was excellent. And I appreciate it. And Hotep, in terms of your arguments, I think you've made the only pro argument that makes any sense.
Thank you.
It's bad for you and it's good for me. I think that's
the only one that works.
It's actually the only argument that anyone could ever make on this. And so yeah, that's it. I think it's perfect.
I'm just surprised he didn't, as soon as you said that, I'm surprised he didn't drop the Hotep, you're a genius. Hotep told you.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
There it is.
I would like to say, shout to Chad for putting this together. He kind of threw it on us. It was like, he was like, yo, I want to set up a debate on AI. I think it's because we were talking about it on the show once, and he was like, yo, Cyprian's against this stuff. I want to have a debate between Hotep Jesus and Cyprian, and anytime I can grift off of Cyprian is going to be a good time. So I was like, yeah, this Friday. And I like, wait, I'm going away this Friday. Damn, we'll grift next week, right? But nah, I appreciate that because you're somebody that I respect. You respect both of us. You knew this would be a good discussion, and it's a discussion that the public needs to see. They need to hear,
Absolutely.
The good, bad, and the ugly of it. And who better to moderate than Chad? So once again, thank you for putting this together, bro.
I don't know how
Thank
good
you,
of a
guys.
job
Thank
I
you.
did.
You did great. You did great.
Most of the time I just got out of the way and
great
let y'all
job.
let y'all
Great
go.
job.
I mean,
But,
I feel like sometimes I feel like this, right? Like there's pressure to get on Tim Pool, right? And or perform. Is pressure to perform when you're on Tim Pool or when you're on when I'm on Fox or these different platforms, right? And what I've realized was the pressure was to actually get to the platform. Like the job's already done. You already made it. Like if you're on Fox, like you're there, like you made it. The pressure, like you shouldn't have any pressure. So for you, I'm like, you didn't have to do anything. The fact that you created this, the job was done right there, right? You didn't have to do anything. You just needed to show up, right? So, that's my take on that, and I appreciate you for that, bro.
Yeah. Appreciate both of y'all. Y'all are two of my favorite people in the world. So
I appreciate
anyway, don't let that go to your head though.
Oh no.
But,
Oh no, absolutely not.
I was talking to Cyprian.
Oh.
No,
The sinner. Cyprian the sinner. Tickets to Hotep Con are available now on HotepNation.com.
There you go.
TryMasterFocus.com. Go get your brain placebo pills ASAP. This shit is a detoxifier and it works. And I think the main benefit from using TryMasterFocus, even the funny thing is when we put this together, I'm like, oh, this is gonna help me focus. And then I found out like, no, it actually just levels out my dopamine levels and puts me in a good mood, which makes me want to focus.
Mm,
And then
mhm.
when I started studying the brain, I came to find out that, like they said, focus actually needs a desire to focus. You actually have to be in a good mood to focus. So everything came full circle. And I think it's a wonderful product. We have great reviews. Everyone loves it. It gets 5-star all the way down the board. Use coupon code 10OFF, and that works for your monthly membership. We're going to have classes on productivity and focus and how to create flow in your workday. So anybody who's a monthly member, that comes along with the membership, and we got a lot of great perks. I got a nice bundle coming out too that'll be free. You guys are gonna love that. We've been working. Don't think I haven't been working on Trimaster Focus. We've definitely been working on this. We got a lot of great stuff coming soon. But our annual event, HotepNation.com, HotepCon, is coming up in August. So go get your tickets. You can use coupon code HotepJesus there for 10% off. That's all I got, man. See y'all later.
Didn't listen to me then, I bet they feel me now. Time don't let me lose it. The booth not about to prove it. I set goals and pursue it. You the best to never do it. Invest my money talking fluent, stupid, ducking the Judas. It broke my heart, but over my eyes, you have no honor, I have no choice. Chasing the commas till I'm a goner. Been left for a minute. On my way home, mama, I promise, got caught up in it. Damn. Everybody eats when I'm batting at the plate. First, second, third, home, $1 million bet.